Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hello English Podcast. My name is Helen, and I'm very happy you're here today.
Hi everyone, I'm John. Thank you for listening and learning English with us.
Today's episode, we're talking about lunch. Lunch is a very simple topic, but also a very useful one.
Yes, because lunch is something we talk about every day, at home, at work, and when we eat out.
And at the end of this episode, we will give you a list of the most common and useful lunch words, so stay with us until the end.
These are words you can use right away in real life.
Let's start with a simple question, John. What does lunch usually mean to you?
For me, lunch is a break in the middle of the day. It's a moment to stop working and relax a little.
I like that. Lunch is not only about food.
Exactly. It's also about energy and rest.
What time do you usually have lunch?
I usually have lunch around 1 p.m. What about you?
I usually eat a little earlier, around 12:30.
Do you usually eat lunch at home or somewhere else?
It depends on the day. When I'm at home, I usually eat something simple.
Like what, for example?
Maybe soup or a sandwich, or leftovers from dinner.
Leftovers are very common for lunch. Many people eat leftovers the next day.
Yes, and it's very practical. You don't need to cook again.
When you feel hungry before lunch, what do you usually say?
I usually say I'm hungry or I'm ready for lunch.
Very natural phrases.
After lunch at home, I often say that was good or I'm full.
Lunch helps you continue your day with more energy.
Now let's talk about lunch at work.
Lunch at work is very common for many people. Most people don't go home for lunch.
Yes, they usually eat at work or near the office.
What do people usually say before lunch at work?
They often say, I'm going to lunch, or I'm taking my lunch break.
A lunch break is the time when you stop working to eat.
Where do you usually eat lunch at work?
Usually in the break room, sometimes at my desk if I'm very busy.
Do you usually bring lunch from home?
Yes, quite often. I bring food in a lunchbox or a container.
And you keep it in the fridge.
Exactly. Then I heat it up in the microwave.
Heating up food means making it warm.
Very useful phrase.
What kind of food do people usually eat at work?
Usually something light, like a salad, soup, or a sandwich.
Lunch at work is usually quick, but still important.
Yes, it's a moment to talk and relax a little.
What do people talk about during lunch?
Often about weekend plans or food, not always about work.
That's true. Lunch is a small break for your mind.
After lunch, people usually say, back to work.
Or, see you later. Now let's imagine a real lunch situation in a cafe. This is very common when people eat out during the day.
Yes, especially when you work nearby or meet a friend. Cafes are popular for lunch because everything is simple.
Let's imagine we walk into a small cafe. It's not fancy, but it's clean and comfortable.
We sit down at a table near the window, and the first thing we usually do is look around.
Yes, and then we look at the menu. John, what kind of food do cafes usually serve for lunch?
Most cafes serve light food, things that are easy and quick.
Like sandwiches and salads?
Exactly. You often see sandwiches with chicken, cheese, or vegetables.
And salads with chicken, tuna, or eggs.
Yes, and usually there is also soup.
Soup of the day is very common in cafes. It changes every day.
That's true, and people often ask what the soup of the day is.
What do people usually drink at lunch in a cafe?
Many people drink water, still or sparkling.
Some people drink coffee.
Yes, especially after lunch.
Let's imagine we are ordering now. What do you usually say to the waiter?
I usually say, "Can I see the menu, please?"
or I'm ready to order.
And if you are not sure what to choose?
Then I ask, what do you recommend?
That's a very useful phrase.
The waiter might say that the salad is popular, or that the sandwich is fresh,
Then you decide, and you say, I'll have the salad.
or I'll order the sandwich.
Lunch at a cafe is usually relaxed. People talk while they eat.
Yes, they talk about their day or their plans.
After eating, people often say, that was good, or I'm full now.
When it's time to leave, you ask for the bill. You say, can we have the bill, please?
Cafe lunch is simple and very realistic English.
And these situations happen every day.
Now let's talk about a different lunch situation, lunch at a canteen or cafeteria.
This is very common at work, schools, and universities.
A cafeteria is a place where many people eat at the same time.
Yes, and the food is usually ready. You don't order from a menu like in a cafe. Instead, you choose from what you see.
Let's imagine we are in a work cafeteria. It's lunchtime and many people are there.
People are standing in line with trays.
Yes, they take a tray and walk along the counter.
John, what kind of food do cafeterias usually serve for lunch?
Usually very simple food, something filling but not heavy.
Like rice, chicken, or pasta.
Yes, and often vegetables, like carrots, beans, or salad.
There is usually soup, too.
And sometimes fish.
The food is not fancy, but it's warm and practical.
What do people usually say in a cafeteria?
They might say, I'll have the chicken, or just the soup, please.
Or they might ask, is this spicy?
Yes, that's a good question.
After choosing food, people go to sit down
They often sit with coworkers or classmates.
and talk while they eat.
Lunch in a cafeteria is social, even if it's short.
Do people usually stay long in a cafeteria?
Not really. Lunch is usually quick.
After lunch, people say, back to work.
Or, I need a coffee.
Cafeteria lunch is very common in everyday life.
And the English used there is simple and useful.
These situations help you practice real English.
English you can use immediately.
Now, let's talk about a very common situation, a quick lunch between activities.
This happens when people are busy, maybe between meetings, errands, or classes.
Yes, lunch is not always calm and slow. Sometimes it's fast.
Let's imagine it's a busy day. You don't have much time.
You feel hungry, but you need to eat quickly.
Helen, what do people usually say in this situation?
They often say, I don't have much time, or I'll grab something quick,
That's very common. People want food that is easy to eat,
like a sandwich or a wrap.
or a slice of pizza.
Yes, exactly. Something you can eat fast.
Let's imagine you walk into a small takeaway place.
You look at the counter. Everything is ready.
You don't sit down.
You just order.
What do you usually say?
I usually say, I'll take the sandwich, or just a coffee and a sandwich, please.
Simple and clear.
People often eat while walking or standing.
Yes, lunch is not always at a table.
After eating quickly, people often say,
That was fast, but good.
or at least I ate something,
Quick lunch helps you keep going.
even if it's short.
This kind of lunch is very common in real life.
And the English is very practical. Now, let's talk about a more relaxed lunch situation.
Lunch at home with family or friends,
This kind of lunch usually happens on weekends.
or on special days,
Lunch at home is often slower.
and more social.
Let's imagine friends come over for lunch.
The table is ready.
The food is simple but homemade.
Yes, nothing fancy.
What kind of food do people usually serve at home for lunch?
Often something warm, like pasta, rice, or chicken.
And maybe a salad.
Yes, salad is very common.
People sit together and talk.
They don't rush.
They ask each other questions.
Like, how have you been?
Or how is work going?
Lunch becomes a moment to connect.
People often say, "Please help yourself."
Or would you like some more?
After lunch, people usually stay at the table
They drink coffee or tea.
and talk more.
Someone might say,
"That was delicious."
or thank you for lunch.
Lunch at home feels warm and comfortable. And now it's time for a very important part of today's episode.
Yes, this is the vocabulary part.
We promised that at the end we would talk about the most common lunch words.
These are words you hear all the time in real life.
And you can start using them today.
Let's begin with the most basic word.
Lunch.
Lunch is the meal you eat in the middle of the day.
Usually between 12 and 2.
Helen, when do you usually have lunch?
I usually have lunch around 1 p.m.
That's very common.
Another very useful phrase is to have lunch.
This just means to eat lunch.
For example, you can say, "Let's have lunch together."
People say this at work and with friends.
Now let's talk about lunch break.
A lunch break is the time when you stop working to eat.
You can say, "I'm on my lunch break."
This phrase is very useful at work.
What do people often say when they don't eat at home?
They say to eat out,
To eat out means eating at a cafe or restaurant.
not at home.
And what if you take food from home?
Then you say, I bring lunch from home.
Many people do this every day.
Yes, especially at work.
Another very common word is leftovers,
Leftovers are food from another meal.
usually from dinner.
For example, I'm eating leftovers for lunch.
Now let's talk about food choices.
People often say, I want something light,
Something light means food that is not heavy.
easy to eat at lunch.
When people want to eat quickly, they often say,
Let's grab lunch.
to grab lunch is informal and very common.
It usually means a quick lunch.
Let's move to restaurant words.
A very important one is menu.
The menu is the list of food and drinks.
You can say, Can I see the menu, please?
And after that, you order.
To order means to ask for food.
For example, "I'll order the salad."
Another useful verb is to recommend.
When you ask, "What do you recommend?"
You ask what food is good.
Let's talk about common lunch food.
Salad is very popular for lunch.
So is a sandwich.
And soup.
These are very typical lunch foods.
Now drinks.
Still water means water without gas.
Sparkling water means water with gas.
These two phrases are very important in cafes.
Now let's talk about how you feel.
When you want to eat, you say, "I'm hungry,"
And after lunch, you often say, I'm full.
or simply, "That was good."
People also say, I needed that.
It means lunch made you feel better.
One last group of words is about paying.
When you finish eating, you can say, "Can we have the bill, please?"
If you pay together, you say, let's split the bill.
And if one person pays for everyone, they say, "This one's on me." These are very useful everyday phrases. You hear them all the time. Try to remember a few words. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you for learning English with us. Today, we talked about lunch in real life. Simple situations, simple words, and real conversations. Remember, you don't need to learn everything at once. Choose a few phrases and use them today. Practice a little every day, and you will feel more confident. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone who is learning English. Maybe a friend, a family member, or a coworker. Learning together is always easier and more fun. Don't forget to subscribe and like this episode. It really helps us and helps other learners find the podcast. Learn real English with our daily podcast for beginners. See you in the next episode.